Game started.
All right, happy Ed. Okay, well, let's try d4, d5. I've been wanting to try out the Chigorin defense ever since I did that recent chess basics on the Chigorin. Looks like an interesting way to play for activity. So if pawn takes, queen takes, immediately puts pressure on d4 here, and you can't play knight to c3, or you just take the pawn, and so he pauses to defend the pawn, and then you counterattack with this move e5. And now when he attacks, you can pin it. So this is a standard position in the Chigorin, and that's about as far as I know it. But it looked interesting. So white can force black to give up the bishop pair. But he's not doing that. Let's see, where is he going with the knight? So all he's doing is he's defending. Okay, so he's trying to avoid pawn damage. At some point when he blocks the pin, I will just take the knight. That's the plan here. And try and maintain the queen on this good square. It can only be chased away by a knight or this bishop. Or a pawn. I guess he could try pushing a pawn there. But right now I could just take it. Okay. So I'm just going to continue to develop. And yeah, when he hits
Check.
the bishop, then I have to take. And now this funny looking pawn here, I guess it can stay there for a while. Let's develop the other bishop. Maybe this is a good square for it. I don't know if f4 or g5 is f5 or g4. g4 or f5 are more accurate here. Queen, he's putting the queen. Okay, he unpinned the knight and put the queen on a good diagonal, and he may be threatening. He may be threatening to play c4, kicking my queen. Let's if I castle first. He's also threatening to play e4, I guess. But he's not threatening to win the e-pawn just yet, so I will castle first, and then I think I will exchange eventually, relieving the tension in the center. But having survived the opening, I guess I'm doing okay. He could build up with f3 and e4. That might be an interesting way for yeah, it might be an interesting way for white to play. Now my bishop can come here, but where does the queen want to go? How about actually, I don't think that's such a great square because there's no route back for the queen. So maybe I just drop the queen back to d7. And now he can gain a lot of space. Yeah, so maybe instead of castling, I should have taken the pawn. So he can gain a lot of space just by playing d5 here. But, well, I can continue my strategy of undermining the pawns. This pawn is weak. He's not attacking it, but I was just realizing this e-pawn is undefended here, and it's not particularly easy to defend either. Okay, but there's a pin on the white's e-pawn, so I can just take the d-pawn here. So I think this is one of those really tactical openings where you have to keep your eye out for these chances all the time. Now he can maybe counterpin, but he can't put a rook there. He can only put a queen here, and my queen is defended. So I guess I'm doing okay. Okay, pause to think here. What is White's plan? Which side is he going to castle on? He's got to castle on the king side, I guess. His queen side looks like a wreck. So he needs to develop his light squared bishop. He's got a bunch of pawns that are sort of blocking it. Maybe bishop to c4, bishop to bishop b5 is not very impressive because I'll just play c3 there. Or bishop to d3. Bishop to d3 unpins the pawn and I'll have to move my knight. Okay. Or queen there. That'll force me to move my knight. Now, the queen there also simultaneously attacks my b pawn, so if I play knight b6, however, he can push on with a5. So rather than holding on to the pawn, maybe I should just try and play actively with knight to f4. And if he wants to take this pawn, he can have it. I'll probably bring my rook over to harass his queen, and he's going to have a weak c-pawn here. And this knight on f4 is looking at some interesting squares in the center and near the king. In fact, if this bishop moves, the g-pawn hangs, so it sort of ties up, this knight on f4 sort of ties up White's development, so interesting. Yeah, might as well take the pawn. He's got to have some compensation. So rook over, and the queen has to go to a6. Rook up, and the queen can go to a5 or c4. And this pawn is loose. Well, let's first chase the queen. Now, yeah, I guess I want to continue with rook to b6 and see where the queen goes. And then maybe I can double my rooks. Or maybe the rook can come over to d6 in front of the queen and put more pressure on the d file. Let's see. At any moment, he could take off my dark squared, he could use his dark squared bishop to take off my knight. But that would leave him with a bad bishop, so maybe it's not so great. So rook d6. Does that threaten knight d3? Knight d3 check, bishop, rook takes. I mean, I seem to be getting a certain amount of activity, but these pieces are not looking too impressive. I wonder if I should be worrying more about how to get them in the game. And his bishop can come out and harass my rook. I should be aware of that. I don't want to make some allowances for the fact that this this pawn on e5 is not defended. I'll give myself some options. Yeah, so he can hit the rook like that. And the question is, do I want to go to c6 or to d6? Let's go to d6 here. Maybe if he's thinking about castling, I can stop him. Stop those thoughts in the tracks. Oh, although it takes up it takes up a good square. It takes up the square the knight wanted to go to. So maybe c6 was better. Well, I can kind of untangle with knight d3, bishop takes, rook takes, and he's got to move his bishop. Okay, move moved his queen. Where is that queen going? It's offering a trade of queens. So I don't want to take his queen because it'll just straighten out his pawns. So let's not play that. Let's play c6. That will give the knight a square to go to. Ah, I forgot. I forgot my e-pawn was hanging. Oh well. Yeah, I can play that. So now I have this check here, but he can just take. And then after rook, so knight here check, bishop takes, rook here, and then he's got to defend or move that bishop. I don't know, maybe I get a lot of pressure on the d file there. It's certainly a forcing move.
White resigns.
Oh, no, that was a premature resignation. He saw the fork and he didn't see that he could take it. Okay, well, I will upload this, do a postmortem, and maybe take a look at how this game could have continued. I think the game is about even here, actually. I don't think White had any cause to resign at all. Okay, interesting game. See you guys later. Bye.